My name is Peter Minev. I am CEO and co-founder of DigiLegacy, the digital inheritance service which enables people to protect their digital and financial assets. I'm married. I've been married for 18 years to my wife, Anna. I have two kids, my daughter, Raleigh, 16 years old, and my son, Victor, 12 years old. I live in Berlin, Germany. I'm originally from Bulgaria. The one thing that I was really interested was playing outside with the other kids. So we were spending a lot of time outside playing. I used every opportunity to skip school if possible. And I remember my parents looking for me at 9 p.m., 10 p.m. after school, because I was playing with the other kids football or hide and seek. So this was really something that I was very passionate. My love for subjects came a little bit later in my teenage years. And then I discovered my passion about software engineering, about technology in general. My first master's degree is in engineering, and I have engineering background, and I studied engineering. I was really passionate about technology, and this is why I went into that direction. And in the 90s, when I started to study in the university, still technology was not, especially in the software industry, was not so popular in Europe. It was gaining traction in the US, but still in Europe, technology was more perceived as hardware rather than software. Software companies was almost absent in Europe, especially big software companies. But then I really had this vision that one day everything will be managed by technology. And this was really radical thinking in the 90s when I was thinking that, hey, one day I think that even the refrigerators will be managed by software. 20 years or 30 years later, I don't know. Now we see that we are living in a world where basically everything is managed by technology and by software. Airplanes, refrigerators, TVs, you name it. So I think it's really exciting to live in these times, to see how technology is penetrating every aspect of our lives. It's really exciting. I started my career as a software engineer. And I remember the first company that I worked, it was really profound experience for me because, coming from the communist times, working for a private company, it was small startup, building products for real clients, for international clients, delivering value, participating in determining the marketing strategy, participating in the sales negotiations. It was for a 21 years old third grade student. I mean, I was in third year in university. This was profound experience for me. And I remember one case when we were delivering a product that I was the primary software engineer for this product. And we were delivering for a big multi-billion corporation in Turkey. So I had to go to Istanbul. And I remember in these negotiations, 21 years old, still student, I was negotiating with 55, 60 years old MBAs with tons of experience, business and product. I felt like so not the right place, but in retrospect, this was so profound experience. And I always say that I'm blessed by this first company because first I saw what it is to work in a private company. And the second thing that I think it was very rare chance to work in a company where you're not only working on the software and the technology part, but I was participating in all the other domains of the company, like negotiations with the client, determining the sales and the pricing strategy and all these things, which working in these domains so early in your career is really profound learning experience. And then I switched to engineering management, building engineering teams and engineering organizations in way larger companies like VMware, SAP, Johnson Controls Automotive. At some point, I also was so fascinated how technology is changing the lives of people in so many different areas that I became passionate of building technology companies myself. So this is something that I really enjoy. And yes, the complexity is very, very big, but I think it gives enormous pleasure to build something that is improving the lives of people and the opportunity to build a technology that can impact positively millions of people on the planet. We came to Berlin in 2015. It was a little bit weird because at this moment I was working in Sofia. It was weird because I was working in Sofia. I was managing teams in India, Mumbai, Bangalore, in Palo Alto, US, and in Sofia. And at the same time, my family moved to Berlin. So probably the right thing to say is that I was living on the plane and I was always on the plane. This lasted, for 1 year in 2015 and 2016. And mid-2016, after working almost 6 years at VMware, I realized that I cannot live anymore on the plane. So it's time for me also to move to Berlin with my family. So this is when we joined and I settled permanently in Berlin. Actually, it came not so much from ambition rather than a need. I realized at some moment in my career that in order to be successful in my role of building and managing successful engineering organizations, I need skills and knowledge way beyond purely engineering or engineering management. I need knowledge in product, in marketing, in finance. So it came purely from a need to be successful in my role. And then I had this realization that, hey, Peter, you really need an MBA to get these skills and this knowledge. I was evaluating different business schools, and I had several criteria. Like, for example, I wanted for sure the business school, the executive program of the business school, to be highly ranked in the global ranking of executive educations. I wanted the school not only to be, business related, but to have this combination of business and technology. And ESMT had the subjects of blockchain, the subjects of data science. I wanted the school to have very diverse and international group of students, like also not only international in terms of geography, but also diverse in terms of backgrounds. I more or less was surrounded in my experience by people who were with technology background, and I really wanted to work with people who have background with legal, with finance, to hear different perspectives and to enrich my perspective with their experience. So, and the last thing that I really was very important part of my criteria was I wanted the professors to be not only very strong with theoretical knowledge, but also to have very strong experience, practical experience working with successful companies on the field. So then ESMT came naturally like top choice for me for my executive MBA. When I joined ESMT, I really had this narrow goal, like being successful in my role back then, which was building successful engineering organizations. It was only when I started to study at the school when I realized that actually it is giving you something way bigger than this. The Executive MBA at ESMT is equipping you with all the necessary skills and knowledge to be successful in way broader roles. To understand, the business context that the company operates, to understand, the market reality, the market context, the business context. So the Executive MBA really equipped me with all these necessary skills and knowledge to be successful in way broader roles than my role back then. I think the Executive MBA is giving you deep pocket of knowledge and skills that you can use in your career whenever you need them, in any moment when you need to be successful to resolve some critical business or whatever other product problem. And I think building your own company is probably one of the roles which requires you to apply almost all the skills that you acquired during your Executive MBA study. How you build the right product, how you deliver this product to the market, what is your marketing and business strategy. Really, you need to apply all these skills in almost every day of your work while building the company. So we started DigiLegacy as a digital inheritance service with the goal to help people to protect their digital and financial assets. So basically, we started this with the idea to enable people to catalog their financial and digital assets, to designate their loved ones as beneficiaries, and to detect unforeseen events happening with the users. Upon detection, the family members to be aware about the assets so they can find and claim them. And we had this broader idea of building digital legacy as a marketplace. We don't believe that you can have one idea, best idea, and really deploy to the market and it will work. We believe that even if you have the best idea, you need to do a lot of iterations until this idea has good product market fit. So now we are iterating on our product, and we have this ultimate vision to build a marketplace, a platform around the broader idea of enabling people to protect their assets, which might include tax advisory services, legal services, financial services, everything that you need in order to ensure that your assets will be inherited by your family members. And you can imagine that this is a very bold vision which requires really a lot of skill sets, legislation in different countries, different markets, different geographies, different target customers, B2B partnerships for B2C product. It really requires to pull a lot from the knowledge and the skills that you gain during your study. So I think I'm applying almost everything that I learned in ESMT during my daily work. And I always say about ESMT one thing. I had a company about 10 years before studying in ESMT, and I remember when I was selling the company, I felt so insecure, like how you evaluate a company, how you sell a company in the first place. And now, after my Executive MBA, I really feel when we are building the digital inheritance service, digital legacy, that I'm swimming in my own waters. And I realized that the primary reason for this is my Executive MBA study at ESMT. The biggest change for me from the Executive MBA was that I, more or less in my career, was focused predominantly on technology, like engineering languages, software languages, technology, software, hardware, you name it. And then I realized that really, in order to be successful as a technology leader, you need way more knowledge than purely engineering management. And I realized that this is a big gap in me personally as technology leader. And then I also realized that there is one topic about being successful technology leader, but if you want to build a technology company, actually, I don't want to underestimate writing software code. I started my career as a software engineer, but everyone can write software code. I mean, everyone can learn to write software code. It is way more difficult to write software code that creates value. And then you start with these questions, fundamental questions like how you determine value, how you measure value, how you capture value, how you deliver value. And all these fundamental questions, I realized that I have gaps in answering these questions. And this was not positioning me for success in my role back then. And also I realized that it would definitely be a very critical knowledge that I need if I want to be successful technology leader and entrepreneur in future. So I think this was the biggest impact on both personal and professional level from my Executive MBA study.